is happening later tonight. Team Ghana is ready. You might have seen their stuff already on social media as Joseph Paul Amoa, Benjamin Azamati, Ibrahim Fusseini, Aminu Rashid, Rose Yeboah, the first ever woman to qualify in the women's high jump to represent Ghana in Olympic competition. She says it is an honor to be there. And also, we talk about the swimmers, Harry Stacey and Joselle Mensah. They've also secured qualification by virtue of the fact that they were Ghana's wild cards for this year's Paris Olympic Games. We've got this, but do not forget, just a few days ago, exactly a week ago, the big story blew out. Some athletes absconded after arriving in Oslo. Charlie, they japa, proper japa with it. The sports ministry says that these athletes are fake athletes and they were not out there to represent Ghana. And also the president of Ghana Paralympic Committee and Africa Paralympic Committee, Samson Dean, says that his signature was forged. But the officials who were accused of forging his signature claims that the letter came from his office. Wow. Big one. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullahi and I am sitting in for your regular host, Fentio Tahiru, who is having fun in Paris, covering the Olympic Games, and Victor Achitamaklu, VAT, the man who keeps introducing taxes to us here instead of cutting down taxes. And the man with a mischievous smile, always seated in the middle, always being the gentleman who come here and drop us some bombs. Daniel Cranton. And Sikyofe Ashim will be here soon to be part of the conversation for today. And also, don't forget, we'll be talking about the Youth Resource Centers. It's becoming a mundane conversation because it appears the authority responsible for ensuring that we have the right facilities to groom athletes in this country or sportsmen and women in this country. They've pumped in millions of dollars into putting up infrastructure since 2018. But those facilities, they've become proper white elephants. And as always, the show is an interactive show, and we would like to hear from you on 055 997 055 997, and you can also join this conversation on X, formerly known as Twitter. Twitter us using the hashtag GamePlan. Game Plan is proudly brought to you by Petrosol, where every drop matters. Yes, just every penny counts. Did you know good quality fuel enhances your vehicle performance and reduces maintenance cost? Take no risk in times like this. All you need is value for your money. Look no further. Drive to the next Petrosol fuel station. Yes, Petrosol for your clean, accurate quantity fuel suitable for new technology vehicles. Be a happy customer, fill with smiles, drive more miles, and save some money. Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantities. And have you played the new Fly X with Win Boost from Betway? Well, if you haven't, you are in for a ride. For the first time ever, Betway is introducing the Win Boost feature into a brand new game, which will let you win up to 300% more than any other game out there. That means if you would have, you would have won 500 Ghana cedis. It could be up to 1,000, and 1,000 Ghana cedis could go up to 3,000 Ghana cedis. What are you waiting for? Play Fly X with Win Boost exclusively at betway.com. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway, get way more. Achim Philip Sichofe. He's here. How are you? I like your glasses.
I forget how they wear some. So I enter the place make dark small for me, like it's unusual. So,
you don't wear dark shirt. You don't wear dark glasses.
Like I picked the glasses because but as I come, say I make it small, some traffic for some place. So giddy I enter. Normally if I come, I'll put this one, I'll wear the transparent one. Yeah. But I just enter the place. So I'll enter there like some lights stay off or something.
It is cloudy.
Yeah, so as he does say he like my house. Man,
welcome, gentlemen, welcome. Daddy K,
my guy.
You keep smiling. Are you texting your wife or what?
No, I've already spoken to her.
You've spoken to her, so is she listening?
Look, she makes me happy when I see her in the morning. Then the mood is set for the day. So I smile.
So who are you shading? Are you shading Achua what?
Well, I'm not shading anybody. I'm just telling him that if he wants to continue smiles, then he needs to do the do.
Smile without a reason.
And in fact, he just came back from an event that is going to put smiles on the faces of his brother.
Yes.
Last year, when we went for Daniel's wedding, I made a promise to him and the boys. Yes. I intend to keep that promise.
Fantastic.
Yes.
My God! My God!
Daniel got married on 18th November. Yeah. So 18th November, you could get...
I intend to keep that promise.
Keep the promise. Man is working hard at it. Leave it at that.
My God!
In the course of the conversation as well, we'll have Asamoah join us. We had promised the first time he came here there, we mentioned that...
Monko.
Baby.
Monko, yes. The first time he came here, we mentioned that Joy Sports would be heavily involved in the original games, and we are keeping to that promise that we made to him. So he'll be here later today for another conversation of where they have gotten to so far in the original games. But gentlemen, welcome. Actually, let me start with you. About the biggest stories that came up, especially last week. That Paralympic story of 11 Ghanaians arriving in Oslo and deciding to abscond. And in fact, it appears Ghana, we've got a certain history of always having athletes traveling out of the country, not wanting to come back. And who can forget the visa racketeering of Gold Coast 2018? Then in fact, even some athletes, para-athletes as well, also never wanted to came back. And in football itself, it's not even spread. When we went to Brazil, some people were seeking for asylum. When we went to Germany, people were seeking for asylum. How did we get here, Achu?
I think that there's been... So I'll try to contextualize the conversation so people understand what exactly happened here. There's been some half-truths, there's been some lies, and there's been some truths about it. The truths are that they weren't there, they absconded. They didn't show up for the competition. But the idea that these were not national team players could not be farther from the truth. Here's the thing. Often when people hear the Ghana Football Association, Black Stars, Ghana Athletics. In the same way you hear Ghana Olympic Committee and you know it is not just one discipline that they essentially manage. That is what the National Paralympic Committee is about. Right? So you have para-athletes from different sports making up the committee. or their managers making up the committee. So when there is supposed to be a paracycling event, it is the paracyclist in Ghana who will be selected to go and participate. However, there is not one para-national team for any of these disciplines because of how para-sports began in Ghana. And I'm sure for the journalists, we will know some of the names. Mr. Ahin, Ali Jara himself, and all of these guys who started. Para-sports basically started with our brothers who could gather themselves together. They will play a couple of games, and when they hear of any competition, they will try to go and participate in. For a lot of them, yes, the love for the sports was important, but they saw this as a means to get out of the country. And that's why for a lot of the smaller groups that came up, later they eventually gave themselves to one affluent person to then essentially form an association. Right? So a lot of the bickering that we had over the years was because somebody who felt that he has stalled with these guys and taking them to a certain point. So maybe he'll go to Cote d'Ivoire, he'll go to Nigeria, all from his pocket, because government doesn't fund parasport in the country. Later came to a point where a more affluent person got into the fray, won elections, and all of a sudden he's the one everything runs through. So that sort of bitterness is what created the factions that led to the divisions between the Bocho Nkegbe, or is the name Bocho or Bocho?
Bocho Nkegbe. That
we had the matters that went to courts. Now, for official purposes, people will tell you some of these issues were resolved, and we only know of one National Paralympic Committee. But as far as these actors are concerned, those matters are not resolved.
And in fact, as we speak, Bocho Nkegbe and Co appear to be running their own
federation.
Yeah, somewhat.
And here's the thing. You can sit in Ghana and say that you are not a national team player or the sports ministry does not recognize you. But the international federations whose competitions they've been participating in for decades, they recognize them. That is why these guys who found their way to Norway may not have had a letter from the sports ministry saying that indeed we are backing these guys or they are representing Ghana, if indeed what the sports ministry is saying is true. But if the Norwegian embassy picks a phone and dials, and one of the people they will call first is the organizers of that competition, just like if you apply for a scholarship, right?
And not to cut it, but usually when you apply for such competitions, you are sent invitation letters.
Yes. So they will verify the details on that invitation letter and then contact the organization that is hosting or organizing this event. Once it is established that your name is in the database and that the details you are presenting are correct, right, they will give you the visas and you will go. So people need to understand that, look, the guys at the Norwegian embassy, they know their job. And there's been instances where Ghanaian teams have shown up for these para tournaments without backing from the sports ministry.
So, in essence, are you suggesting that the MPC...
I'm just trying to explain to people how come a team representing Ghana will end up in another country without any knowledge of the sports ministry or without any approval, if that's the word you're looking for.
But how are they able to fly out of the country without also the approval of MPC? Because based on what we heard from Samson Dean, he was clearly not aware.
So as I've explained, it is these factions and these little groups, because there are people who don't feel answerable to Samson Dean. There are people in that enclave. And here's the thing. When we organized the African Paralympic Championships in 2023, we hosted it. You had paracyclists, you had para-basketball, and I think one other discipline, I've forgotten the name.
Even the football.
But essentially, not all of them were people who you would say were in good standing with the National Paralympic Committee, per the narrative that is out there, that they don't align with Samson Dean, right? But they saw an opportunity. This was a continental meet, and so they would show up and then participate. And so they did. What is important for me here, and look, this idea that we don't know these guys, and you are just dancing around the problem. There is an issue of disunity among all of these guys. They don't see the boss as their boss. And the boss knows it. You see, irrespective of what people say about Nkegbe in this town, he has a whole constituency behind him. That is why he can galvanize a whole national team to go outside of the country or to. When it comes to the Olympic Games, you can say that.
But just to clarify, that Butcher Nkebwe was not the man who was behind.
No, not this one.
Yeah,
not this one.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that is how deep the divisions are. What is important for me is that we address the issues head on. That is why I have been very disappointed with how Samson Dean and the sports ministry handle this. Samson Dean, because he will be the first point of call when the national security got wind of this matter, even before the sports ministry. Now, if you were minded to do anything, the moment that letter got to your notice, you will investigate the matter and then take the necessary steps. Failing which, you would expect the sports ministry, the mother body, who you expect to have oversight over all of these groups. And that's why I find it very difficult to accept what the sports minister said in that press conference. You may not have known. You may not have written any letters to essentially vouch for them to go. But there is a public record of the National Security Ministry writing to you to say, yo, this has happened. You are not a bystander. You have this entire state machinery behind you. If you have to investigate people, the same national security people can help you do it if you don't have the capacity to. If you have to prosecute people, you have the AG's departments there. The sports ministry has its own lawyers. The idea that you have this letter in April, May, June, July, and it had to take Nathaniel Atto and Joy Sports reports to bring this matter to the notice of the entire country, and still we are not seeing you say that, oh, we have already instituted or initiated an investigation, but we were not able to go public because we had not concluded. However, people need to trust us that this is what we are doing about the matter.
The ministry got the letter on July 3 instead, not April. The team left Ghana in April. The event was on April 25. Then, unfortunately, their head coach died on May 17.
Yeah.
And the National Security Ministry wrote to the Sports Ministry on July 3.
Whatever be the case, you didn't find out from the media. For me, that's the point that is important that we establish. You didn't find out from the media.
You found out 2 weeks before the media knew.
Yeah.
You didn't find out from them. So it cannot be that you found out around the same time everyone did, and so you are now trying to know. You got a head start on this. And you see, for me, the timelines don't even matter. It is your actions that matter. Because you have a reputation to protect. The manner in which they've handled this suggests to me that they are not aware of all of the deep-seated factions that have led us to this point, and also don't see the ramifications of this on the image and the brand Ghana. Look, already we had people who behaved in a certain manner in Gold Coast, for which reason, anytime a Ghanaian journalist applies for a visa to go and cover an event, they will investigate you as if you are a drug lord. They will That's why Sicho doesn't want to associate with anything journalism. And you tell people he's not a journalist.
Why am not a journalist?
Because if Sicho and I show up at the embassy, the sort of questions I will have to answer may not be the same as Sicho. Because some people in the past pretended they were journalists.
You're not capable of doing it. See the way you're unraveling this story. Am I capable? Am I a journalist?
See.
No, it's an honorable job. See, people call themselves journalists. Charlie, the job people are doing.
Yeah.
So
one of the things that many people often fail to understand is that journalism is quite different from even TV presentation or radio presentation. They are completely different things. So sometimes
once they see you on TV, no journalism.
Yes.
Broadcasting is different from journalism.
It's completely different.
See, this matter, if I want to talk somewhere, I'm not qualified to talk. So
I'm not going to talk some, but actually, just wrap up. Let me go to
look,
to Danny.
For me, the ministry shouldn't behave as if it was just a mistake that happened. No, next year, the next international Paralympic events that happen, a certain group is going to apply, and based on their participation in previous Paralympic competitions, they will be recognized by those organizations or those federations, right? And they will be admitted. Are you then going to say, Or are you then going to sit and hope that it is the group that is in good standing with Samson Dean and the National Paralympic Committee? There are issues to address. As disgraceful as this was, it is an opportunity to wipe the slate clean, have a conversation and find a way of addressing all of these problems. But at the heart of this, the reasons that is making people run out of this country or leave the country and not want to come back, they are economic, first and foremost. Address that matter.
Victor,
address that matter because they are Ghanaians.
So cut down the verse.
I'm done.
Danike, who should be responsible for this? Because it appears everyone is sharing responsibility. This thing came up. Should it be the MPC? Should it be going to the Ministry of Youth and Sports? In fact, the minister was asked whether he accepts responsibility for what happened. He said no, he cannot take responsibility for that.
Muftar, for me, all the official statements that they are releasing, I don't believe anything. And I don't believe it because, you see, some things is science and maths. 1 + 1 will always give you 2. And these official statements, when you put them together, they are just basically not adding up. You can't, and that is the MPC chair, you can't from the beginning tell us that you don't know who was involved. Then in another breath, you are banning 2 people you say are responsible for what happened. Now, how can you ban somebody who is not under your wing? Like, I don't get it. Can multimedia sack somebody who is not their staff? Muftar, I'm asking you a question. Can multimedia sack somebody who is not a staff of the company?
No, this one, dear. We have to go and ask Nana Elegba.
Thank you. It's not possible. So if you tell us that you don't know anybody, you didn't send anybody, you didn't come from your association, but in another breath, you are
suspending officials.
2 people you say are responsible for the thing. It's 1 + 1 2 in this situation.
And one of them even said the forged letter came from
MPC office. His office. Now look, the Norwegian embassy.
Yeah.
I rate them.
Why?
I rate them.
Do you have future plans of going for visa?
I rate them together with all these foreign embassies. Look, they do their homework. They don't just sign off on certain things. There will be a high level of authenticity on paper before they will stamp your passport and give you a visa. They don't work with feelings and emotions. They work with hard evidence. It is not possible, and I repeat, it is not possible for you to take a forged signature from the MPC together with forged documents and get a stamp on your passport.
Forge the accreditation.
It's not possible.
Forged accreditation as well.
It is not possible because see, if they forge accreditation, then the competition would not have been waiting for them to come and register. Are you getting their thinking?
Oh, yeah.
If they forge the accreditation, there's no way I'll forge my AFCON accreditation. Then CAF will be waiting for me to come and register.
Even the interesting thing is that if you listen to the 3-way call Samson Dean had with AEC and then one other official, you will clearly have an understanding of some of the things that Samson Dean was talking about. I remember that he asked them a question. I don't know if any of you have listened to that 3-way call that Samson Dean had with
but that for me has no value whatsoever because as we have established,
but clearly
these guys have been participating in these competitions for a long time.
So what I'm actually saying is that for Samson Dean to have gone on a 3-way call with officials he claimed to have suspended and had that kind of conversation with them.
And said they were not his members.
And claimed that these are not your members, then I'm a bit confused.
Look, Muftar, we are getting somewhere. Look, in the letter they released to the media, suspending those individuals, there were 2 examples of previous attempted misdemeanors. One was to UK and the other one was where?
Yeah. One was to UK, which was in 2020. And even to date, they claim that the official who traveled, or even athletes who traveled, are not back to the country. They can't be traced.
Basically, in those two situations, when the people went to the embassy wrote back to the MPC for MPC to give approval and own them before they were allowed to go. Okay? So it is not possible per these two precedents that have been set that it was forged. It came from his office. As for that one, he can't run away from it. It came from his office and it was authentic. That's why they were given the opportunity to travel. As for, you see, we are not children. We are not children. For me, if you are coming to give excuses of these sorts, at least you rate us small and give us an excuse that when we crack our brains, we will struggle to punch holes inside. This is too flimsy. Again, that story that came during the week that they send the family members.
4 family and they have absconded.
Charlie, you how much you chop? Are you 3 years old? Muta. Now since when will somebody lose a family member abroad? Then they'll grant you visa to go out and go and bring the body back.
A group that has
and let me tell you something.
A group that has already broken the law over there. Now, Charlie, do you think we are kids over here? Charlie, listeners, do you genuinely believe this story? That I'll run away. I'll run. Then something will happen to me after I've run. Then they'll give my wife and children visa to go to Norway and go and bring the body back. Have you heard some before?
And in fact, you know what is quite weird about this? When Fent sent me that story, I said, no, Charlie, this one, it doesn't make sense. So let's cross-check ourselves. Until we found the voice of Samson Dean actually saying that they sent 4 family members and they went there and then they also absconded and they are not back. And apparently, I saw a story earlier today that suggested that the family have even denied. They've denied ever.
2 of them applied for visas and they were bounced. That's the story I know.
Nah, Charlie.
I think it doesn't.
See,
but can you even imagine that? Can you imagine that Samson Dean actually made one website, pull down their story for publishing it, until we found the voice of Samson Dean actually saying that some 4 family members went to Norway to bring the body and they absconded.
Mufta, my point is, these deviation tactics will not buy them. This is a serious matter. It's a serious matter that puts national team members. Charlie, this is in a space of how many years? We've had about 2 or 3 huge scandals like this, and it's implicating all of us. So we're not going to sit here and allow these flimsy excuses to fly around. Charlie, you think we are children? That 3 days later, then you come and tell us that you sent family members. Like, who does that? Anybody with the slightest understanding of how these things works will know that this thing, it is not true.
Seydou Adamu says that if you listen to the call, Samson Dean released, and then you see the statement Samson Dean released to the media, you can clearly understand that it is an insider job.
See, there are some things that we can't say here because obviously we don't have concrete proof.
Yeah.
But what we are saying is that in these matters, 1 + 1 is always 2. These things are not adding up. And if I was the minister, I'll take serious interest in this case. You see, it is not by any means that the national security wrote directly to the ministry, because this is a serious matter. You may not have been involved, but
you have oversight.
You have oversight responsibility over it.
True.
And it still falls under you. So they need to take action and bring the corporates to book. See, this is not about then 3 or 4 months will pass, then we'll shift to another matter. Somebody, heads must roll. Somebody must be held accountable for this thing. Because
and who must be held accountable?
We all inside the matter.
Sicho, who must be held accountable? I would say that someone must be held accountable. And in fact, were you shocked to read that? In fact, I saw your first tweet. When you reacted to that story, you were like, this one not a joke.
Yeah. Because
it can't happen in Russia.
No.
Russia was back from Russia first.
It can't happen in Russia.
Did you meet?
Are you guys joking or what?
Did you meet Vladimir? Did you meet Vladimir Putin?
He was in a meeting. I was also in a meeting. We were all busy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
so did you go for an oil deal or something?
Plenty deals. Plenty deals.
Let's come home, Sicho. Let's come home, because everyone is running away from this. No one is taking responsibility, and we have a certain history where, considering what happened in Gold Coast 2018, considering the stories we have heard about Victor Rekatiari in this country, these things cannot continue to happen. It appears there's a certain system people find their way of maneuvering. What must happen this time around to curtail this? It has become more of an endemic thing.
Without the systems must work. Right? By human nature, human beings are naturally liars. Human beings naturally are thieves. Human beings naturally don't like order.
The heart of man is desperately wicked.
Yes, so systems must put these things in check. You see, nobody really knows what the truth is. If you read between the lines, you are looking at some inconsistencies from some statements that people have made. And a lot of the things Mr. Samsindin has said doesn't make sense to me anyway. Right? It doesn't tally with all the things that we can reason and see. But for me, this is why I say systems must work. If the national security has had wind of this matter, it's written a letter and copied the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it's copied the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The national security as an entity should be an interest. In fact, there should be number one party to wanting to get to the bottom of this matter. This is a security matter. It's a complete breach of security that people who we can't even identify have left Ghana, gone through an embassy into another country, absconded. It's a security matter. Are you following? By now, the security agencies of this country should be investigating things. People should be hot. Questions should be asked. People should be picked. Statements should be taken. People should be stepping aside so that we can investigate.
And people should not be shirking responsibility. You can't just shirk responsibility and you are allowed to go scot-free.
Because investigations are not ongoing and because nobody's under pressure, Mr. Samsindin can come and issue the statement is issued. People can come and respond in the manner they've responded because they know that in the country called Ghana, give it 2 weeks,
we go die.
After game plan, the matter. This is the last time everybody's coming. After this is the last time. By 3 o'clock, no, by any topic, can we finish in the next 5 minutes? By 2 o'clock, the story is dead, and that is why people will keep getting away with this rot. Right? When it happened with the Australia visa thing,
yeah,
we did some skirmishes, suspended some people, brought them back, something. Maybe reassigned and it ended. So there is motivation to find the loophole in the system, like the way Chelsea have been maneuvering the loopholes in England and around UEFA. Loopholes, 7-year contracts, and
we cleared them.
So you see, that for me is where the matter is, and Achu has explained it from where the whole problem is that it is not a rounded association where you can easily point to one person, they can shift blame because nobody really, you can't say GFA is skets and prosper. You can't say it is the executive committee and getting, you can't say that. You can't say it's GB. It's a fractured association. So we know that. And then he has also explained that when you listen to what they've said, and when you also look at the letters they've written, and some of the actions they've taken, 1 + 1 there, it's not 2. It's a different mathematical equation they are solving. The only way we are able to find answers and piece what Achu has said and what Danny has said is when our security agencies begin to work on some of these things. It's the only way. Right? So what is the BNID? What is the ministry's own investigation team doing? What is the national security who wrote this beautiful letter doing? The letter is not enough.
They are informants. They came to inform us.
And in fact, do we even know if the ministry has initiated processes to investigate this?
The minister is saying that he won't take responsibility because the people are not sportsmen. But you see, this is where the minister is wrong. And the minister is my guy. You see, Honorable, good afternoon. You see,
has he texted you yet?
By the time I'm done, he will text me. Honorable, my guy. By the time I'm done, you see, look, Honorable, it might not be directly from your office or attached to your office, but indirectly, it is a group of supposed or sportsmen who have absconded.
And you have responsibility.
And you have the utmost responsibility of overseeing sports in this country.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that it is not on your doorstep. It is not only on your doorstep, it's on your lap. Are you following? Because if today a fake Black Stars team leaves the country, that they are going to play in some organized tournaments in some country, and something happens, you the minister can't tell me that because they are not the original Black Star team and they left under the cover of sports, you don't care. You care. What that means is that there's a complete breach of what the sector you have to look over is doing. So you care.
Chaos.
It's no good. So when he says that he won't take the no, he has to take the responsibility. Get people, like I just said, maybe his office would not have the apparatus to do, but the national agencies that are responsible for these things, they are there plenty. Sometimes they don't even have job to do. This is job it has come. They should do.
The job has come. They should do it.
So for me, that is where we have to start from. Right now, what we are all doing is we are being the investigators. Then you go and replay statements.
We don't have the authority to summon anybody.
And then Mufta will look at some dates and say,
Mufta, they pay attention to date.
All those things we don't get power. Those who have the power to do it, if they work, these things won't happen in this country. If they don't, next 2 years, when there's another competition, we'll be back here.
And we'll talk about
this conversation. Yes.
And it becomes a recycle. That's what I'm saying. It's a mundane conversation, actually.
1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Simple, right? But math is not so simple when you play Fly X with Win Boost from Betway. 1 + 1 can be 6 and 2 + 2 can be 12. Because you get your winnings boosted by up to 300% more. That means whatever you win times 3. So think about the last time won. How much would that be on Fly X with Win Boost? You do the math. Then visit betway.com.gh to play. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
The happenings in international sport bring us history, numbers, and moments, some of which can be repeated and others only once in a lifetime. But when all these are said and done, one platform, the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM, becomes the convergent point for all the deep conversations. On the Joy Sports Link, we delve into the issues from expert and specialist angles with athletes and the persons who make these great things happen. This surely is your preferred platform for delving into the critical sporting issues and bringing the celebrated names and faces behind them. The Joy Sports Link is on every Saturday from 12:10 p.m. to 2 p.m. And I'm your host. My name is Nathaniel Atom, and I have love for sport.
This is Game Plan. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullah, and I've been doing this with Sichofe, Ashim, Philip, Daniel Cranthing, and Vat, the man who keeps adding taxes instead of reducing taxes, Victor Achitamaklu. And as you know, Game Plan is brought to you by Petrosol, which says that every drop matters. Yes, just every penny counts. Did you know good quality fuel enhances your vehicle performance and reduces maintenance costs? Take no risk. In times like this, all you need is value for your money. Look no further. Drive to the next Petrosol fuel station. For your clean fuel accurate fuel quantity which is suitable for new technology vehicles. Be a happy customer filled with smiles, drive more miles and save more money or save some money. Petrosol, your clean quality fuel in full quantity. And also Chopbox Technologies, they say that Chopbox, they revolutionize student life by delivering textbooks, provisions and birthday packages straight to campus, saving time and hassle. With easy ordering via apps or phone, students can focus on what matters. Chopbox Plus extends convenience, offering wholesale delivery to your home or businesses. It is not just a platform, it is a lifetime for busy students, professionals, and families in Ghana. Experience the convenience. Call 030-223-9134 or 053-047-4694 or visit www.chopboxonline.com and download the Chopbox app and just make your special orders. And guess what? We have a special guest in our midst, and that special guest is here to let us have some fun. Let us have some conversation. He's been contributing massively to Ghana's sports, and as I mentioned earlier, when he started this initiative and joined us here, we had promised to be a part of it, to throw our weight behind it, and today he's here to have more conversation about what has happened so far. We've had, 2 conversations so far, but many things are happening behind the scenes you and I do not have an idea about, and he's a perfect person to give us an idea of what has been happening behind the scenes. And this man is a multi-talented man.
Castro again, no.
No, back on, no, and we are back. This is Game Plan. Asamoah Gyan is here. Make some noise! You see, when this song was playing at the background, one thing came to my mind. I remember when he scored that goal against was it Germany?
Yeah.
He was dancing and then
Yeah.
that skill. Baby, what kind of skill was that?
I just have to make everybody happy. Football is sometimes people are passionate about it, but sometimes you have to entertain the people.
Yeah. Right.
To take something home to talk about. Mm-hmm. So when I do something like that, the question you're asking now, is something which is there to entertain people.
Yeah.
After a hard day's work, there should be enjoyment. Yeah. So after the hard work, the goal comes. People have to enjoy the goal.
Quick.
So that is how I just want to entertain people.
Monko.
In fact, I was listening to this new Black Stars B Ibrahim talk about how Asamoah Gyan was one of the players who inspired him, and even Nico Williams. Nico Williams spoke about how Gyan. Gyan, when you hear some of these things, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel appreciated. I feel like I'm a role model to other generation. You do your work, but you might not know who will be watching you. Yeah. So. And
the kind of impact it is having on the person.
Yes.
So let me tell you a story. I told Jan the last time we met at the Afro Sports. So 2 weeks ago I was with my uncle Vlad. in Russia.
Yeah.
That's what to see.
Vlad.
Yeah, Vlad.
Quick.
Vlad, man.
Uncle Vlad.
Oh, quick.
So when I was in Moscow, I went to the Luzhniki Stadium where they played the World Cup final.
Yeah.
France and then Croatia. Ronaldo also beat Chelsea there. Chelsea fans, if you remember that header. So the tall guy, when he saw him, like, where am I from? Like, I'm from Ghana. And it was like, oh, Ghana, Gwen. I'm like, oh no, Ghana, I'm from Ghana. He said, no, Gwen. And I'm like, I don't want going to teach me how to pronounce my country's name. Then he said, number 3. And I'm like, number 3, Asamoah Gyan. Yeah, Gwen. Like you're saying, Charlie, he's trying to do the Asamoah Gyan dance. So I use my translator and say, like, he loves Jan. He loves. And Ghana wasn't, when even at the 2018 World Cup, I think it's Russia.
we're not
He's seen Jan play football, he's seen him play at the other World Cup, and he absolutely loved Jan. Like when I mentioned Ghana, the first thing that came to his mind was Gwan, which was a friend. What was he trying to refer to as Asamoah Gyan?
And in fact, Tamimu Issa also shared an interesting story like that with me when he went to Saudi, where he went to a shop, he met a gentleman, and just knowing that he's from Ghana, then Jan was the name that came to mind.
It's huge, man.
So Tamimu called Jan, he spoke to the guy. In fact,
Hey, Asla.
Like for
How was he pronouncing the name again?
Gwen.
No, don't tell him who. He'll start calling me that.
Asamoah Gwen.
No, see, the way you're going on, I'm just trying to remember how we're pronouncing where he comes from.
Tumu.
no, mine is Du. Mine is Du. There's a difference between Tumu and Du.
We like the Tumu.
And I can get the mischief here. The alphabet you're trying to fix in there will not enter. It's never going to enter. Asamoah Gyan and Chief Franklin, who is the project coordinator for the original games, they are here with us. Asamoah Gyan is the man behind this. He says football has given a lot to him, but he's not just going to support only football, because there are many talents in this country. And as a man who has benefited through that, he wants to give back. And I remember just a few weeks ago, the launch happened in Kumasi, right?
Yeah.
And I saw the crowd, I saw the entertainers, where everyone was cheering at the top of their voice, because they were excited to not just see Jan once again come in there, but to also feel the impact Jan is having on the next generation of young talents and sports genre that you're trying to do here. Jan, just before you walked in, we have spoken about the Paralympic Games. We're going to talk about them. The National Sports Authority, multi-purpose use centers that are happening across the country. And before I come to you to talk to me briefly about those, what you've been doing behind the scenes, just let me have an idea of how important facilities are for an event like your own. If you have gone to the remotest of areas in this country. Yes. In fact, I saw him in, was it Tamale or where? Some corner B.
And that's so cheap.
Yes.
It was like Pampas that he ate all the eggs.
That could say the Meku. You go
Kusiani
chop
Meku.
one. By the time you
Everybody
chop
knows
like
Kusiani
20.
Meku. Kusiani Meku.
So Jan, touring these areas, just how important do you think facilities are to make your dream a success?
Honestly, I think we have a lot of work to do. That was why we went on the regional tour, to create awareness about the all regional games, and then to see the facilities around. You remember we said any region that comes to Accra to win the gold medal, we'll try and go to that particular region to make sure we build what they want in Accra. So going there was for two things: to create awareness and then to see the facilities. And from my point of view, I feel like yes, we have a lot of work to do. Preparations will be fine. I'm sure everybody has got is a way to how to prepare towards the tournament. Like for example, in Tako, the schools have where to train to come meet each other. So I don't think I think we have to manage it for now, till our project starts. Because when it starts and we start, maybe God willing, we start building facilities in different regions. all this is for Ghana, So going there, we saw a lot of things. Although people embraced the original games, we were very happy. You could see some pictures and some other things on social media. You could see the response. Everything was great, and honestly, it was a good experience for me. And I told Frankly, hey, Charlie, touring all 16 regions, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a good experience for me, and I'm getting used to it. It's a different world I'm entering. So honestly, everything has been very, very good so far. Although definitely you find challenges here and there, but that is what I observed. I know we have a lot of work to do in terms of infrastructure and everything, so we'll work on it.
You will work on it. And so you talked about challenges, right? What has been the most exciting thing so far in this journey? And what has been the most challenging aspect for you? You, Jan.
I think the most exciting aspect is the people have seen somebody wants to bring their dreams alive. Because there were a lot of athletes, people who were very rusty because they didn't have any support from anywhere. So introducing original games, it's like, oh, okay, now we've got somebody to push our talent to the highest level, to give us that platform. So that is where they were happy. We went everywhere. Sometimes we go to see the chief. Sometimes we see some of the most influential people in the region, talking about the regional ministers and everybody, even some chiefs, in all the regions. We've been able to engage all these people, and for me, somebody's dream can be shattered, and somebody to bring that person's dream alive, it's a huge bonus for them, and that is where I'm excited. When I create or when I impact in somebody's life, that is my happiness. When I'm able to solve somebody's problem, that is my happiness. So what I've seen there is like people were very happy because they didn't have any hope, and now somebody is bringing them hope. So yeah.
And Jan always brought us hope whenever we were watching the Black Stars play. Chief, frankly, let me speak to you. The launch happened just a few days ago, right? What has been happening behind the scenes that we do not know about?
I mean, for the launch, it went very well. On the back end, whilst the launch is ongoing, we're preparing for trials and then the main event.
Yeah.
So. Everything we had more or less is like the honeymoon period, even though it was the most tedious part of the work, touring the entire 16 regions and then coming back to prepare for a launch that you want to set up the standard. And I believe Original Games have been able to achieve the standard that we actually set for ourselves. No disappointment. But then on the back end, the real work actually begins. We're now in the process of vetting the regional coaches who have registered to be able to make sure they are in good standing with the appropriate authorities. Also preparing the venue, looking at jerseys and tracks, planning and the coordination of the event, accommodation to house the entire region coming into Accra, feeding. So there's a lot of work. So for us, it hasn't stopped. People only see the flashy part of the main event, but the background, there's a lot of arrangement coming in because you're going to host the entire 16 regions, over 700 to 800 people for a period of time.
Is that the number of people who have registered so far?
The number of people who have registered is actually over 2,800, almost about 3,000. Those that we've actually vetted were about 875. That's considering taking the underage, because don't forget we cap it from 18 up to 23. So we have to actually decentralize this information that came into the system. So now we are almost about 875 as at this morning across the regions, across all the sports disciplines. So by the time the trials are done, if even you take about 16 regions on football at 23, that's almost about 386 plus athletics, the other 9 disciplines. So you're looking at no less than 700 people that we're going to be hosting for a period of time, and then their feeding, their transportation, their movement, other things of this. So there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of hard work going on in the background, and then without wanting to disappoint the Ghanaians for putting such an event, there's a lot of sleepless nights going on at the moment.
I've seen the data here, and about 850 people have registered.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Why,
These are people that have been vetted. Like, we have all their paperwork, their credentials. So that is what we've populated. But total registration in the database were a little bit, almost about 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's monstrous.
Yeah.
Hey,
But where is the venue for the trials, and when is it happening?
Okay, so for the venues, currently the first region starting the venue, we're moving according to the number of registrations that has actually come in. So if you look at it, so far Greater Accra obviously tops it up. So the event for the trials is going to be on the 10th. I'm not putting the venue out just yet. The reason being is we want to communicate directly to the people who have registered to avoid stampede as well, because we are not going to accept any registrations on the day of the trials. So if people still want to register in Accra, they have to the 10th really to actually do their registration.
10th August?
10th August, and that's when the first trial is actually beginning. So for now, we're going to communicate directly to the people who have actually registered via text messages. So those who are in Greater Accra region that have registered, please look out for the text message for Original Games Trials for Accra. It's going to be done between Friday and Saturday, so we're doing over 2-day period. Okay. Then from there, the next region that we'll be going to will be Ashanti region. So we're putting the date out as in when we're getting a bit close, and I think we've made room for a week at a time. A week after, every other week is when the event are actually taking place. My concern really is, I was expecting more females.
Exactly where I was coming to, because 47 is
it's not encouraging. It's not encouraging. I was expecting more females, and it's not too late. We also anticipate that maybe if Accra trials begin, we might have a bit of last-minute rush for registrations as well. But I was hoping that we have more female registrations. But maybe because it's a maiden edition, let's see how it turns out. Whatever I have, we'll make do with whatever we have. And if you look on the registration list as well, there are some regions that, as we sit here now, they might not be able to represent in all the 9 disciplines, because if you take especially the 5 northern regions, they've not been able to form a core in terms of soccer. You have few representations for other sports disciplines, but in terms of football, the numbers are down. Now, our cap is 23 per region. That is, after going for all the trials and screening, we're supposed to have the best of 23. Now, if you look at the numbers now, some of the regions are 19, 20, so we cannot even screen those 19 to have the representatives. So what we might have to do is we might have to push them to the 2025 edition rather than the 2024. So just like African Olympics, it's not all countries that's able to have a representative for all the disciplines. It looks like we're going to experience same. And besides, this is a mini Olympics anyway, so we're also anticipating that it might not be all the regions that might be able to represent for all the various disciplines, but we're hoping, especially women, and then for the northern sector, especially from Tumu area, we're expecting more people.
Do is here. I am from Du. My village is Du. He is Tumu.
So,
yeah, the place you've been trying to add the arrow to.
So we're hoping that, especially for the 5 northern regions, for me personally, I was expecting more turnout in terms of registration in there, because when we went a place like Savannah, we saw the anticipation. It's not reflecting on registrations, unfortunately. But we're still trying to liaise with our media partners out there to actually put in a bit more arts and communication to see what they can get and more registrations from the northern sector. But if you look at the northern sector, it's a bit, for me personally, it's a bit disappointment.
Yeah, I've seen some of the numbers here, and I've seen football for Northeast. Oh, only 20 people.
Yeah.
In fact, the football is quite even 13. Athletics 1.
Yeah.
Basketball
as
0.
Said, when you went there, the interest was high.
It was high, especially for Savannah. I mean, they waited till almost about 7:30, 8 p.m.
Yeah,
and it's purely youth.
Yeah.
And we have about 3 radio stations over there that are
pushing.
consistently
That
pushing.
yeah.
Yes, and
Does it come down to the challenge of maybe then the 90 CDs they have to? Is it
it's
90?
29 cities.
29 CDs they have to pay. Perhaps?
No, but listen, one of the
When you
things.
say 29 cities, right?
Yeah.
As someone from that part of the
Yeah, that's
the
what I was gonna
country,
come to.
29 cities, maybe some people might not be able to.
If you have a
afford.
dad, that give you 2 cities. If you have an auntie, that give you 5 cities. If you have an uncle, if you really want to pursue this, and that's one of the things, though, it shows the level of seriousness in people wanting to take their. You buy credit every day. You're on a mobile phone. On average, almost every household, everybody have a mobile phone. You buy credit. So for 29 cities, for something that you want to build a future upon, I think
reasonable.
It's reasonable. It's not out of context at all. I think Ghana, one of the things we need to be very careful is the freebies, because free does not necessarily promote seriousness.
Yep.
So if you can't spend 29 Ghana cities to actually demonstrate your key skills, seriously, then I don't think you're serious at all. Because you will not wake up in the morning to actually, because you have something to lose. That, okay, I've paid 29 cities. I need to get up early in the morning to go for rehearsals, to go for training, to do for that. But if somebody's giving it to you for free, what is the motivation?
Yep.
That's actually a good one, because when you pay, you actually be
sense of responsibility, isn't it?
You have some sense of responsibility.
Yeah, so it's one of the things I think as a country, as I'm for all helping communities that cannot really help themselves, but the free is literally orienting us. Why pay money if I can get it for free?
Maybe I have to do something for the Northeast people.
Oh, from Tumu, I mean a representation.
No,
of
Tumu Fentio will do that one, but me, I will do for Northeast. If Fentio should pay for
and
for
it's one of
Tumu.
the things I keep also make mention of, and I'm not being diabolic, but I love to think it's in good faith. We have politicians within certain areas. We have churches and other bits and pieces. Instead of this youth being available and then sometimes get up to no good, it is also an opportunity for any politicians within any constituency or any community to say, listen, I believe in the youth within my constituency or within my region. Let me encourage them to go and do this, because if you come back and you win a medal for your region, it's a pride for the community. And at the same time also, you have the whole Ghana, the whole Africa, international scouters to actually discover, and then it just takes one person to discover your talent for your entire generation community to actually change.
To benefit.
So it's also, I'm appealing to all the churches, all the politicians, for the youth, if you're listening to me, if a politician is telling you that they care about your future, seriously, this is the time for them to prove and show.
And I'll come to Sicho and Danike to just talk briefly on this. But Jan, one thing I would like to understand is that meeting these young ones, speaking to them, what was the sense you got that engaging these young ones? What was that key message that many of them actually gave to you whenever you had a conversation with them?
Anytime I see this youth, I always say I represent the youth. You know, I'm always with the youth. I always give them advice as much as I can, and some of them look up to me. I don't even say it. You understand? Anytime they see me, it's even a motivation for them.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't have to even speak too much. What I would say is just train hard, stay focused, be determination, work hard, and you achieve your dream. This is all I tell them. And if there is any different conversation, we just add it to them. Me, even seeing me in front of them is a motivation.
It's a motivation in itself. And in fact, Danike, seeing you is motivated.
Of course. You know, baby. No. See, move down. To be honest, like, it is very, and from a fan point of view, somebody who grew up watching Baby Jet, to have an opportunity, like he's come here, you put things normal.
No, it's not normal.
Do you know what is going on inside me?
It's not normal.
If I remember the first time you guys came for the regional games, In fact, yes, Charlie, that day, that was my wife's birthday. That first Friday.
You should have brought her to take a picture now.
Charlie, we finish the thing, we go outside. My boy say, hey, so you in the school or we all the what baby jet today? You they sit with baby jet like this. And you know what I do? I say, oh, I think I'm cool, Charlie. I think I'm cool. Charlie.
Now you share a panel with baby jet.
No, it's a big deal. You know baby jet. Now you, if not for baby jet, the Russian man will even talk to Siju. You don't mind yourself.
Oh, that's actually true. It's very true. But then it came, considering what Asamoah Gyan and his team has done so far, many of the youth, right, have been looking out for opportunities like this because there are so many talents in this obscurity. This is a perfect platform for them to embrace.
Yeah, perfect. You see, it's one thing saying it, talking. This time, Gyan and the crew are putting it into action. They are making it available for you to go out. And you see, I always say, it's not everybody who will get the opportunity to enter an academy or enter some football club. These are the small. You never know who is watching. You never really know who's watching. Look at the story of Afena Gyan. The guy was playing football, secondary school football somewhere. Somebody saw him, and all of a sudden he's playing in Europe. You never know. So some of these opportunities, when they come around, and it's 29 Ghana cedis. You register, you have an opportunity. Obviously, you go for vetting. You make it. It is a platform that the whole country will be looking at. Scouts are coming across sports. So it's not even about where the interest of the country is. Yes, we all like football. But you could be talented in something like high jump. No, you never know who is watching. You never really know who is watching. And then you have an opportunity.
And in fact, the unicycle boy who has gone to the US to win a gold medal.
Look,
the funny thing is, you know, in the beginning I say we give people the platform to exhibit. It's like you don't have a job. I said, I come to you and I say, well, I'll give you a job. And then you tell me,
for my tears.
like I've brought the work. Now you want me to fund your lorry fare to the office?
Yeah, that's I perfectly agree with Frankly. It doesn't connote seriousness. If you really want to do it, I don't think you don't even have an excuse. This is like the cheapest way to getting a big platform. 29 Ghana cedis and you'll be playing in front of the whole Ghana. Like me, I'll do. Like if I was not on this platform, Podi know me, I can save my body sector where I go do mohawk. Like quick, 19-year-old, I'm going to register. Quick. No, it's true. We are being serious here. So if you have an opportunity to pay 29 Ghana cedis to have a platform such as this, for me, I'll take it. But again, look, the infrastructure is also important. It's also really important. And one of the things we wanted to talk about today was the youth resource centers. It's really important. It's not just about when you are doing these things regionally, okay? And let's imagine that all these facilities were completed, and then the people in the Savannah region want to train for all regional games. They don't need to travel anywhere to. Nope. The facility is there for them. Cool, they go in the train, and even that when the main event is happening, you are assured of proper top quality because everybody has been given access to top quality infrastructure. Top tracks, the running tracks are of standard, the gym equipment are of standard. Everybody is coming with a fair access to all these things, and you know that on the day whoever wins deserves to win, not that the person in Accra got access to more facilities and more things than somebody in the Volta region or something. So these things are important. Yes, a private person will say he wants to do this, but the state must also, and that's why you speak about the MPs and things getting involved. This is it is about having a national interest at heart. Yep. And yes, Gyan has gotten up. He said he's doing it, but you can support with some of these small things. You don't need to say, okay, fine, I am also supporting original. You do your part so that when Gyan and his team are doing this thing, it makes it easy for them to be able to bring all these guys on board. So that's just my 2 cents.
And in fact, I'll need to go back to an interview I had with one Alhaji Isa. He spoke about how when Gyan was coming to Liberty at a young age, how he was actually hungry, wanting to play for Liberty Professional. So it's about the young ones also been hungry, that I'm hungry to do this? I don't know, John, if John can corroborate what he said.
Of course. Our time, our generation, we were hungry. We didn't think about even money. We want to play football. It get to a time, the money will come. You get to that level. But that is why people say, I play with passion anytime I'm playing. I'm the jovial type, but when I'm playing, you could see the passion, because we want to do it. You know, I don't know about this generation because I don't follow them, but I always talk about mine.
This generation, there, baby.
So
them by
No, but the youth today have this serious sense of entitlement, and that's the problem.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah,
that I agree with you.
Entitlement, which, to be honest with you, is way off. If you look at from even my generation to where baby's generation is, and if you look at the up and coming generation, and if you look at the level of humility, and then the way in which we address and speak to people, and then you look at the younger generations coming, their attitude and their sense of entitlement, you can't stop to wonder, do we really have future leaders?
Everything has been shortcut. For example, you see the treadmill. When you're running on the treadmill, run on the treadmill for 10 minutes, the same pace, and run on the street 10 minutes, the same pace, and then you see the difference. You see where you are working harder. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, tomatoes, you can use 2 weeks to plant tomatoes and eat. Before, we say 1 month, we use 1 month to plant tomatoes. So you go through the process. You don't do shortcut.
That's why Anthony Baffa will tell you that you have to take the elevator.
Oh yes, we are in an impatient generation.
Extremely.
Very impatient. They want everything quick. So the person who is supposed to wait and go through the training and be able to play like Jan and make the money Jan made when he was 30, the person wants to make it at the age of 21.
No, the person want me to give the person lorry fare to come.
And it's amazing to make this analogy. Yesterday, I was just giving somebody a contract to do some carpentry work. I go for area, and then the person goes, "You need to pay for my TNT," and I'm like, "You want work? I'm giving you the work. You're going to do the estimate and charge me, and you still want me to pay for your TNT to come and do estimate and charge me for the work? You are not serious.
You're not smart."
Yeah, it happens.
But
you're not serious.
Back to the games. Like, look, and Danny has said it. Danny has said it all. Offend you, why? By your shirt debut, offend you. What's up? Your shirt, where you buy for?
Oh no, is he at Tumu or where?
No, he's in France. So for Olympic Games, he's going to learn how Olympic Games are done. So
I thought he's in Tumu.
Yeah. When he comes back, you should make him a key member of the original game.
Because he's going to learn one or two. By your shirt debut. Your shirt no bad.
Shout out to Tumu.
Baby.
So
you have to learn how to pronounce the name of my hometown correctly, or else the fight won't stop. It is Tumu. There is no R there. It's Tumu.
There's no R.
Don't put any imaginary R there. The name is Tumu. Finish. End of story.
Right.
But I saw Achu earlier. The guy, he dressed so.
Achu,
he dressed so. Where is he going?
You say he goes on wedding bill.
I see why Mufta. He can't hear me or what?
No, me, I can hear you. Mufta and I having a conversation with you. We want baby to hear you.
Baby cannot hear you. So one baby to hear you. Come.
Okay. Bottom line. All right. Listen. I think all original games. Fantastic idea. I'm very glad that the guys keep making constant appearances on Game Plan. From the very beginning, we promised that we were going to support this project, and we are sticking to our word, and we're ensuring that we give it the maximum push as much as possible. I'm glad to hear that the launch went well, and all of the regional tours that Jan and the team did as well. It's paying dividends. Obviously, the numbers could be better, and I think the good thing is that we still have a bit of time. And for me, I think this is a very novel idea. We used to have, we used to have Milo games. We used to have all these competitions that brought regions together, but we've never had one at this scale or on this scale. So this is very unique. And for me, I think to have it, because it's not easy. I have seen and attended many multi-sport competitions. Organizing a multi-sport event can be a nightmare. Just ask the local organizing committee of the African Games. They still owe 24 hotels. It's not an easy job. So, bringing
28, not 24
people together.
They owe 28 hotels.
A number of days of a competition. And so even apart from all of the athletes they are trying to bring together and everything, I think it is also an idea that deserves a lot of support from corporate Ghana, or even from even the members of parliament who come from these regions. They need to get involved, and push it, because this becomes a very good avenue for them to put their constituents and put the people from their regions in opportunities that could be life-changing for all of them. So we'll keep pushing it. And you guys have been, I'm very glad that you are persevering with this, because sometimes it's not easy. I'm sure sometimes you go to bed and thinking, why the heck did I start this in the first place? Especially for Baby Jet, who could be playing tennis, and, but he's going around the country and trying to do this. So I think it's a wonderful idea, and we'll keep pushing it. So congratulations for what you guys have done so far. I think you've done immense work, and the next few months are even more crucial. Mufta, having said that, though, this is a great I'm here to experience the Olympic Games for the first time in history, and this is a great opportunity for all of us.
The first man in Tumu. The first man from
Tumu to cover a multi-sport event.
The first man from Tumu to cover a multi-sport event, which is the Olympic Games.
But Muftar, if you just let me just use a few minutes to comment on a few things that have been happening at the Olympic Games. Obviously, the opening ceremony is today. It starts at 7 p.m. France time, which is 5 p.m. Ghana time. And this is the biggest opening ceremony in the history of the Olympic Games for a few reasons. Reason number one is that for the first time in the history of the Olympic Games, the opening ceremony will not be taking place inside the stadium. Instead, it will be taking place on the river Seine. And the river Seine basically divides Paris. They will have 160 boats with 10,000 plus athletes on them. All of them, each country in a different boat. And, with the procession, the flag bearers, all of them in front. And each boat would actually be installed with a camera so that it can give you a close view. And the media men will line up along the river bank. And then you will have 3,000 spectators either side of the river watching this particular procession of athletes go to the city of Paris. So it will be an amazing spectacle. There are 3,000 dancers that have been recruited for this. There's over 300 makeup artists recruited for this. There's over 200 ballet dancers. The numbers are just ridiculous. There's 75,000 policemen and women who will be policing the streets of Paris as a result of this mammoth opening ceremony that will be taking place. So it would be incredible. I think for me, one of the things that I'll be looking forward to is always the fit, all right? The kits of the various countries for the Olympic Games. It's always fire. There's always uniqueness in the outfit. We know that some of the countries are being kitted by some of the biggest brands in the world. For example, take the USA. The opening ceremony kit is sponsored by Ralph Lauren. So Ralph Lauren is kitting them. You have Belluti kit in France. You have Giorgio Armani kitting Italy. So it's incredible. So be on the lookout for that. I think a lot of them would wear some fascinating, really beautiful outfit. As far as Team Ghana itself is concerned, only 5 members of Team Ghana's contingent will be on the boat for their opening ceremony. And 2 of them will be the flag bearers, Rose Yabua and Joseph Paul Amwa. And they will wear fugu. We have been told and confirmed now that Team Ghana will wear fugu for that procession. So that should be beautiful. But Team Ghana also has casual wear from a Ghanaian brand called Custom Looks. They've made them some really beautiful casual wear that they're adding to ASICS and the fugu designs by my grandfather in Tumu. And so all of that really fantastic to see what happens tonight. And I'm very much looking forward to it. I think already, as you're aware, the drama at the Olympic Games...
Friend, hang on. Hang
Can
on.
you hear me? Fence.
I'm hanging on.
This is not a monologue.
You are
Hang
so
on.
you are so excited about the opening ceremony. I'm also going to be here on the river anyway. But what about all the recent strike issues in Paris and the fact that people of Paris were not necessarily keen on having the Olympics come in there? What has been the reaction of people of Paris? What have been the reaction to all these strikes? Are they back? Are the trains working? People and everything in place to host a successful games?
You, Sicho, I think I'll tell you what. The city itself is actually choked. Like it's a lot of people, but transportation itself has no problems whatsoever. Especially when you are an accredited journalist, you get a free bus ride, you get free train ride, so you don't get to go through any of the problems that maybe ordinary people might have.
Right.
But I think that the city they've planned really well. For example, the last few days before today's opening ceremony, they barricaded off the riverside. And the riverside basically divides Paris with a lot of business activities around it.
Yeah.
So locals have been complaining mostly about that. But I think that the organizers have said after the games, they'll take off those barricades and business can resume as usual.
Right.
I think if you also look at the big concerns that they've had, especially when it comes to the river sign, for example, is that the levels of E. coli in the river, in the water, is not safe. But only about a week ago or so, the mayor of Paris took a plunge into the river just to prove that it is safe enough for people to be able to swim.
Okay.
So, as far as the Olympic Games are concerned, this Olympic Games is very unique for so many reasons.
Yes, it's very unique, Fent. I'll come back to you. It's very unique, Fent.
No, I want to say something to Baby Jet. Okay, this Olympic Games, Baby Jet, this is the first Olympic Games in the history of the Olympic Games where breakdancing will be a sport. So, if you were still very much active, you and I could start our own breakdancing, club, and then we could be representing country of Ghana for breakdancing at the Olympic Games. So. Because I look at all the other sport and I really don't have a chance. But when I look at breakdancing, that's where I think my future is.
Oh, your future is now in breakdancing. I'm not sure the ones I saw in the internet can win any award for Ghana. I'm not sure any of them can win an award for Ghana. But I think Baby Jet will really do well in this, isn't it? Baby?
I don't do breakdancing. I do
Can you see my moves?
You see his movement? But maybe I understand you have a very busy schedule. Yeah. So any final words that you would want to leave Ghanaians with as you depart us? Let me hear from Baby, then Chief, then we'll go.
I will leave the rest to him. So first of all, I would like to say thank you to the Vice President. Right. Baumia has been very, very instrumental. He came, all the dignitaries, the Chief of Staff, all the sponsors who were able to contribute, who didn't want their name to be mentioned. KGL Foundation, Tobinco, and there are a lot of people to thank. But I would think the project coordinator is on the ground, so he knows the kind of people to thank. But honestly, the event, the launch went really well. And what killed me and what I'm so happy about is all the 16 regions who came to exhibit their culture all came.
Wow.
With me leading them, and it was an amazing.
I saw you holding the torch. I saw you.
Yes, and you see them behind me.
Yeah.
That was my favorite moment.
The best version for me be the Jamaican sheep for the airport.
Yes.
The morale.
Yes.
The morale.
So Franklin.
Chief.
I think let me just touch up quickly. So right after the trials, the official date is set from the 4th to the 12th. Okay. So
is it 4th of August?
4th of October.
October. Okay.
That's the main event to the 12th of October.
Okay.
So the opening, just like what they are doing this evening, we have a different concept. We're going to promote Ghana, promote Africa. Our red carpet area is going to be totally different setup. Funny enough, we can't find gymnastics in Ghana because one of the things I was looking for performance at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium for people to come and perform, gymnastics. You know how the Americans do when they are playing there, but you can't. I don't know what.
But do we even have gymnasts in Ghana?
We used to have.
You want me
them.
to?
Let me come in there. When my brother was little, that was what he has been doing.
Bafo.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bafo.
That was his job.
If you give us something small.
They put him in the pan. They put him in the pan and they will just rolling him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
All those things you can't find them. So if you're out there, you can. We have skaters, the rollerblade skaters that actually perform on that day, which I think was very unique. So if you're out there, you can do that. What you might call it, gymnastics and other things on the 4th, which is the grand opening. We're expecting you to just give us a call. On the other thing also is we are appealing to corporate Ghana that adapt a region. We're not asking to donate the money to original games. Adapt a region. Help a region prepare to come for the National Sports Festival. Okay, so if I ask you, the host now, which region are you representing and what are you going to do for your region? And are you going to sit down for all the medals to be taken from Greater Accra? What are you going to tell me? That's a Tumu representation. So at the end of the day, what is Tumu coming?
Today they're Tumu top shade. Wow.
So that is what is happening. So on the 4th, let's look out for on the 4th to the 12th of October. You have a lady called Chiesa watching us from Zimbabwe. Oh, wow. And it says she enjoys your program. So Chiesa, hello.
Oh, Chiesa, hello. Chichi. Hey, Chichi, how are you?
And then you also have the CEO for Genesis also watching us from Atlanta. So,
oh wow,
CEO Mavis, if you're watching us, hello.
Oh, wow. Maybe.
Mavis Junior.
Kwapia is also watching.
Kwapia, door-to-door delivery is also watching us. And then, there's something I've not actually mentioned. Is Adakamudin for Bafojan, nobody knows. Right. And I'm going to just pull it out today.
Is it Guan?
No. This is Honorable Joseph Franklin Kojobotio.
What a name.
Senior. That's Nadakamudin. So also thank you so much to Baf. He's been a pillar for all regional games. He never moves, he never sleeps. 24/7. Akosua Kekele, thank you so much wherever you are. Special thanks to Otumfo for giving us the grace on all regional games. The sports minister, NSA boss, GTV, thank you. Joy, we couldn't have done anything. Joyce, we couldn't have done anything without you guys. The name is just too many people. Yeah. Those are the ones that are named to be mentioned. VIP, we've already been thanked for. I think on number one, so thank you so much for your donation. We actually don't take it for granted. And we're going to keep doing this. And every year, rest assured, Ghanaians, we're going to, and also want to thank University of Ghana for also their encouragement and their support. There's been our silent promoter on the back end. We want to say thank you to them as well. Let's look out for all regional games 2024, 2025, and beyond. So regions who are not able to make it for this year, because the numbers doesn't add up, automatically will roll over the names and will communicate via text messages that we're going to roll you over. And that only applies for the event that requires more than one person. So for instance, football, volleyball, basketball, those events, we have to push them into next year if we don't make the numbers. But for the individual like arm wrestling, boxing, the rest, you still will go through the trials and you will still come and represent your region at the national sports level.
Okay.
As well. So so far that is what we've been able to achieve.
Okay, thank you very much, Chief Franklin. And Bafo Jan, he's a silent assassin here. Yeah. He's the one who is under the but he's always here.
Always here.
You can hey.
Before there was a Samoa, there was a Jan.
You heard him say that he always had pan. He was able to somersault. Hey. Wow. I think I need to host. I need to host Bafo and Samoa on Prime Take. I need to host them there.
For what?
Because some of these stories you push up.
For what?
Like, so no, that
Me and him, there's competition. Oh. So that one there. You have to promote that fight because. Shit.
Asama, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming.
On the table is, and I officially want to be the promoter.
Is it the one?
Funny Face and Asamoah.
Oh, I saw it.
Me and Funny Face have to come here.
I saw
That's
it.
the latest beef on the table.
I saw him
A special promoter.
after Funny Face did his things and came out. There was a shout and then he mellowed. When I saw the video online, I couldn't stop
Today
laughing.
he posted he's got a beef with me. He posted today.
Oh,
So that's the latest beef
That's
on,
the
on
latest
town.
beef.
No,
And
we
I'm a promoter.
oh, you are the promoter.
I am the
We have to
promoter.
take them to Trust Emporium. Thank you very much for coming. We are really grateful that you were able to make it here on Game Plan. Asamoah Gyan, Ghana's all-time leading goal scorer, a man who brought us joy, and now he's creating a platform for many young talents in this country to be able to also achieve their dreams. He has achieved his dream, and now he wants to impact the lives of others. So, Baby Jat, Asamoah Gyan. And we're back on and on, and we are back. This is Game Plan. I am Muftar Nabila Abla, Asamoah Gyan, and Chief Franklin. We're here to talk about the original games that will be happening later this year. And the guys are seated. Sitio with his dark glasses, Fentio via Zoom, and Cranton with his red phone case and nice shoe. For the first time, I'm complimenting Danny K for having something nice. It is not nice. Wafa. Mischief, dear. Let me go to.
No, I
Fent.
want to ask Fent a quick question.
Okay.
Charlie, the Olympics fever has caught me. Fent, and I know I'm not jumping the gun because I'm
Fenty.
sure by next week more things will come. I want to ask you that 100-meter Olympic race for the men. As for the women, we all know who's going to win. Shakari Richardson is winning, and it's a fact. For the men, Fent Tahiru is a Noah Lyles fan. So
Okay.
Fent is going along the lines of, Noah Lyles always stands up on the big moment.
But that is true.
But we know that Thompson,
Yeah.
the dreadlocks big man from Jamaica, he's
Yeah.
the one on top.
Yeah, right now.
977,
977.
the world leading.
Yeah.
Tebogo,
Yeah.
my young boy,
Lechili.
he too on the big occasions he can deliver. Don't do up.
Only home soil. They
Christian Coleman.
Since Christian Coleman didn't qualify, unfortunately,
yeah.
so I'm sad. But if Christian Coleman is not there, I'm not supporting Noah Lyles. I'm going to Jamaica, so
Okay.
I'm supporting Thompson.
Okay.
Tairu, tell me how Noah Lyles is going to be able to beat Thompson. Because 981 for your personal best in 100-meter Olympics, dear, some way.
No, but the last Olympics, Marcel Jacobs did 9.84, if my memory serves me right.
Yes, I'm saying that for Noah Lyles' personal best to be 981. In an Olympic
981
year,
is a podium
it's
for
looking-
gold.
is some way. Oh, the last year Olympics, who was on form?
You want to mark it against the competition.
Against the competition. The last Olympics, we didn't know who was going to win. Yes,
Yeah, it
Kelly
was
was
so
favored,
open.
but
The
it wasn't overwhelming
The
favorite.
question,
It was open.
the question
So,
is the
Fent,
question is for Fent. Fent.
Give me quick preview.
You see,
Fent, do that in 1
the-
minute. I need to read messages. Do that in 1 minute. I want to read messages.
Well, I don't have a lot to say, honestly. I think when it comes to the Olympic Games, the 100 meters, trust me, I think after Usain Bolt retired, it's pretty much been anyone's title, really, because the first time that we saw the Olympic Games final without Usain Bolt was in Tokyo 2020, which was held in 2021. And it definitely didn't go the way many predicted. In fact, Marcel Jacobs was not seen as one of those people that could even potentially. I dare remind him that Marcel Jacobs, before he won gold in Tokyo, he'd only run sub 10 once in his entire life. And he went there and stepped up. I am not saying that Noah Lyles is an overwhelming favorite, but what we know about the big occasion is that sometimes it can get to some of these athletes with less experience at the biggest stage. And we saw it happen to several athletes in the past where they're expected to win and they don't win, mostly maybe because they've been under a little bit pressure, or maybe they just don't get the start right because they're thinking too much, or maybe just a lot of things can go wrong for an athlete in the final. So listen, Daniel, I'm not going to sit here and overwhelmingly say that I think Noah Lyles is going to win. I'm not that confident, and I'm not that naive to ignore the times that Kishande Thompson is posing at the moment. But certainly, the only thing I can say, and it does count for something, is that there's only one of those athletes that has dominated and won competitions at the biggest level, and that is Noah Lyles. Kishan Thomas has never done it anywhere on the global stage, not at the World Championship, not at the Olympics, not anywhere. And for me, I think that counts for something. So for me, I think, he does have great times. He's I think he can actually go faster than the 977 for sure. He looks in great form. Nonetheless, I'm only slightly tipping Noah Lyles because I feel like some athletes just don't have it to deliver on the big occasion. That might be the only thing that counts against Kishan Thomas. Also, he has fitness issues. And with 3 rounds of this, 3 rounds of that, I'm not too sure.
Yes.
If he gets there fit, then we have a race.
Okay.
But if he doesn't...
Okay. Thank you. Thanks very much. This one from Samuel Amankwa says that the minister cannot exonerate himself from this mess. It's an indictment of his leadership. He's a man in charge of the ministry and must see to it that his house is in order. So it's in reference to the earlier conversation we were having about Team Ghana. Athletes absconding when they went to the to Oslo to represent the country in a Paralympic competition, which is quite unfortunate. I wish I could bring you some more messages, but unfortunately we've run out of time. This has been Game Plan with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. I sat in for your regular host, Fentiu Tahiru, as you heard him from Paris, having some fun and eating food he doesn't know. Then Crampton was also here, Samoa John and Chief Franklin. They came to talk about all regional games. Sichofe Ashrim Philip was here as well. That's your show for now. Continue to enjoy the rest of our programs.